Work isn't planning, systemizing, organizing, or optimizing. Work is the boring tasks that drive results. And the thing is that when we are alone and we have the chance to do these boring tasks, we opt to not do it because no one is watching, because no one's there keeping us accountable, because no one's there to judge us or criticize us. So it's easier to just not do it and lie and say that we did. But as we all know, what you do in private shows up in public. For example, right now during the winter, right, there's a lot of people who are working on their bodies. We're staying at home more often because it's really cold outside and we don't want to step out, but there's people that are cooking really healthy meals or going to the gym or working out at home. They are cultivating the body that they always wanted to have. And then guess what? Depending on which path you took during the winter, in the summer, when everything is hot and nice and the days are pretty and you can go to the beach, you can do fun things outside, going outside is either going to crush you because you've gained 10 pounds, or it's going to be the best summer you've ever had because you're feeling your absolute best. You can lie to your friends and saying, oh, I'm eating cleaner, oh, I'm dieting, oh, whatever, you know. But when it's time to go outside, when it's time to do these fun things and people are offering to invite you out, are you going to be saying no because you're embarrassed of how you look? Or are you going to be saying yes because you took the opportunity to actually do something during that time? It's hard. It's hard to do that alone. It's hard to do that when no one's watching. Like, being consistent on your own is really hard when you don't know where to start, when you don't know how to just tell yourself to do something. Because going to work is easy, right? Showing up to work, well, I mean, you know, sometimes it's hard, but going to work, like, we can do that consistently because there's real consequences that can happen. We all know that we can get fired. We all know that we can stop getting a paycheck. We all know that we have bills that we need paid. So that is keeping you wanting to clock in. But when it comes to like our own personal goals, our own personal things that we want to achieve, then that is when things become a lot more of a struggle. Because how do we be consistent when the consequences aren't immediate? How do we go after a goal and keep ourselves accountable when there's no reward for doing any of that? So there's no reward, there's no immediate reward, there's no immediate consequence. So when you balance the scale, you know, what you want to do versus what you've got to do, it's just the obvious choice you make of doing the opposite thing of your goal. Scrolling on social media versus reading a book. You choose the task that is less combative. You choose the task that's less struggling. You rather do the fun stuff rather than the boring stuff, because who wants to do the boring stuff, right? Who wants to sit here and read a book? I mean, that's some people's hobbies, but who wants to sit here and study? Who wants to sit here and eat broccoli? Who wants to do a really hard workout? Nobody does, but we do it because we know what the reward is afterwards. So if you lack the ability to be accountable and keep consistent, then I have a few hacks that could help you achieve your goals, especially if you are doing it alone. I spent last year trying to grow my social media platforms and presence, and even got into a point where I was getting PR sent, and I even got one brand deal out of it. I was being invited to creator events too. I posted a video about it on this channel, but what consistency can do for you is absolutely magical, and the results are real if you keep at it long enough. So I want to give you guys the tools that I did to keep consistent for that year, and that way you can put it into practice and you can actually drive real results for you too. So If you guys are new here, my name is Geraldi and I make videos all about goal setting, productivity, and procrastination. So if that's the type of content you love to consume, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I am at Geraldi Sella. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with number 1. You're spending too much time on the non-essential. If you're having a hard time starting on your goals, then we are going to be starting by cutting out the things that don't matter, the things that are not necessary. So the things that are clouding our to-do list that don't align with your goals or align with the vision that you have for your life is not going to help you move the needle any closer. In fact, what it's going to do is going to drive you to think that you have no time. You're gonna keep saying, I have no time, I don't have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to cook meals at home, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, because your to-do list, the things that you prioritize currently, are taking away that time from you. There will always, and the thing is that there will always be time for the things you really, really want to do. If you want to go to the spa, you will find the time. If you want to go get your nails done, you will find the time. If you want to go to Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Target, you will find the time. Whether it's on the weekend, whether it's before work, whether it's after work, you will find the time to do that stuff. So don't come at me and tell me I don't have the time, because we all do. We all have time at some point in our week to clean our dishes, to do our chores, to go get a matcha latte at your favorite cafe. We all have time to catch up on our social media. We all have time to take a shower. We all have time to get our hair done, to put on our makeup. We all have the time. It's just what you are prioritizing is the thing that takes it away. If it doesn't align with your goals, if it doesn't complete the vision of what you want to look like, of what you want to be in 10 years, then you need to scrape it away. You need to put it away. You need to take it off. I always say that the way that we treat our goals is the way that a man treats his girlfriend, right? If he really likes his girlfriend, he's gonna make all the time in the world to make sure that he calls her, he texts her back, he shows up for her, he buys her flowers. Like, he'll do anything and everything for this person because he really likes her and he really wants her in his life. If there is a man who doesn't like his girlfriend, then guess what? He's gonna make all the excuses in the world. He's gonna say that he's super busy, that he's broke, that he's really tired, or that his mom is going through, like, he's going through stuff and blah blah blah. Like, he'll make all of these excuses. So we need to treat our goals like we are the man and our goals is the girlfriend. If you wanted to, you would. Okay, like we say, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to call you back, he will call you back. If he wanted to text you back, he's gonna text you back. If he wanted to buy you flowers, he will buy you flowers. And I choose this example because it's something that we all understand. It's something that makes sense to us. If you like something enough, you're gonna prioritize it. You're gonna do anything and everything to keep it around. But if you don't care about it, you're not gonna put in the time and effort to make sure that it blossoms into something great and amazing. If you want your goals, if you want to keep your goals around, then you're gonna have to invest the time into it. You're gonna have to invest the money into it. You're gonna have to invest everything that you got to keep this relationship between you and your goals. So what are you going to do? You are going to start by building a morning routine and a bedtime routine. If you do not have any of that, I want you to build it today. So what you're going to do is you're going to build your morning routine and your bedtime routine that align with your goals. Nothing more and nothing less. The moment that you wake up, the first thing you need to do is something that moves the needle closer to getting your goals. By the time you go to sleep, same exact thing. Anything that's going to help you move that needle closer. For example, right? Because we are all about examples up here. If your goal is to pay off debt, your morning routine may consist of, I'm going to check my bank account in the morning. I'm going to see how much I have for the day. I'm going to see how much I'm going to spend for today. I'm going to check my bank account. Every single morning, as soon as my eyes open, I'm checking my bank account. I'm seeing how much I have in the bank. And then let's say for your bedtime routine, I'm going to check what I have spent at the end of the night. Every single night, I'm going to tally up everything that I spent for the entire day, and I'm going to make sure that it aligns with the budget that I had set out for myself. I'm going to make sure that I did spend the amount that I told myself this morning I was going to spend, and that I didn't overspend. So it's things like that. Another example, if you're if you're looking to lose weight, then you are going to make a morning routine of making a healthy breakfast with a lunch that you can take to work. And then a nighttime routine could be you prepping breakfast for the next morning. You see how everything just aligns to whatever your goal is. Every single task needs to align with that. Next thing, if you're wanting to be a content creator just like me, then your morning routine can consist of to write what content you're going to do for that day. And then nighttime routine could be you uploading all of that content. Let's say it's a TikTok that you want to make, right? You write up what kind of TikTok you're going to do, you film it at some point throughout the day, and then at the end of the night, you upload it all on your phone. Or if you're making YouTube videos, you write up like what videos you're going to do that day, and then you film them, and then you upload them at the end of the night. You edit and you upload them. It is that simple and easy. And what people do is that they overcomplicate it by adding things that don't really matter. If you want to be a content creator, why are you journaling in the morning? Why are you meditating? Why are you doing this? Like, obviously those things are meant for something else, for calming your anxiety and blah 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 blah, right? But if you don't have the time, if you're really telling yourself I don't have the time, then you've got to cut something down. Whether it's, instead of journaling for 10 minutes, maybe do a voice journal while you're getting ready for work for like 5 minutes, whatever it is. Cut it down, and then put the things that actually matter, put the things that are actually going to move the needle in the morning. So like I said, people cloud it with things that don't really matter, which is like spending extra time in the skincare, journaling, meditating, going out for a walk. And it's like, why are you doing all of this? This is not even the one thing that you actually want to do for your life. Like, what you want is to pay off debt. What you want is to lose weight. What you want is to become a content creator. What you want is to get straight A's for school. If you don't have the time, then you got to learn how to prioritize at least just one of the things that are on your goals, and not cloud it with things that don't have a purpose at this very second, that don't have the importance at this very second, because everything is within seasons. Everything is not meant to be done all at once. You can pick and choose what you want to do. You can either pick and choose that you want to focus on calming down your anxiety. Cool, journal, meditate, and do all that stuff in the morning. If right now your focus is, I want to become a content creator so badly, I want to pay off my debt so badly, I want to lose weight so badly, then you got to focus on that stuff, and you can take care of that at some other point when you have more time. But if you're consistently telling yourself, I don't have time, then you got to choose which one you want to do. Do you want to become a content creator as soon as possible, or do you want to calm your anxiety? Like, what is more important at this point? So number 2, you've made the routine, now it's time to stick with it, right? We've built a routine, but how do you actually stick with it? How do you actually do it every single morning? So accountability. Okay, I love defining things because we hear these words all the time, and sometimes we have an idea of what they are, but we don't have like a very good understanding. And I want us to understand what these words mean. Accountability, right? What does accountability actually mean? So it means expected or required actions by a person or an organization. You are expecting yourself to show up and make the content. You're expecting yourself to show up and do the workouts. You can expect yourself to do it, but what happens when you don't? You are expecting yourself to show up. You're expecting yourself to make the moves, to check off your to-do list. You tell yourself, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and you expect yourself to do it, but what happens when you don't? What happens when you've built the system, but you don't actually do the action? You don't do the required action to have that system going. And when you don't show up for yourself, a couple of things end up happening. You feel the shame, you feel guilt, and it just negatively impacts the way you view yourself and your goals. So going to work isn't easy, but it has to be done. Taking care of the kids isn't easy, but it has to be done. How do you get it done? Because you understand the consequences of what would happen if you don't. So our goals is for ourselves. If we don't do it, then it's not going to affect anyone else, but it will only affect you. How is it that you can get to work on a consistent basis? How is it that you can take care of your kids on a consistent basis, but you can't take care of yourself on a consistent basis, right? It's because we understand that there's other consequences, but when it comes to ourselves, we tend to put ourselves last because we believe that we don't matter, that there aren't any real consequences that can happen. But it's real consequences can happen if you don't take care of yourself. You can have a health scare. You could be put in a hospital. There's so many things that could happen when we aren't taking care of ourselves. So even though you may think, oh, whatever, I'm just going to put myself last, I'm going to put everyone else first because everyone else matters, but I don't matter, no one really cares about me. It's like, we don't have to expect anyone else to care about ourselves. We have to learn how to care about ourselves. Aside from that, how do we make a routine stick? You have to change the mindset of no one is watching, so no one will care. And that's precisely the point. No one is watching and no one will care if you are going to the gym, if you are or aren't going to the gym, if you are or aren't studying. Why? Because it doesn't affect anyone else but yourself. Even though no one else cares if you shower that day, if you've changed, if you brushed your teeth, because you're so busy making sure that everything else is tight and needy and you always leave yourself last. The thing is that you have to learn how to care for yourself. You're gonna have to learn how to be the only one to care for your own well-being. And isn't that rough, right? Because everyone else expects things out of us. And so we want to please the people that we love. So we spread ourselves thin, which leaves us with no time. You have to understand that those people do not need to have that required action from you unless it is necessary, right? Like, we have to go to work. We have to take care of our kids. But anything more than that, you can say no. If your family is trying to get you to do something for them, you can say no. And that is just a whole nother thing of how to get your time back. But you have to learn that there are consequences if you don't take care of your body, if you don't take care of your mind, if you don't take care of your soul. I say that our goals is our soul because it's our purpose. You feel this purpose, this need of wanting to lose weight, of wanting to look good, of wanting to go to get straight A's or to graduate from college or whatever, right? We have this purpose and this need to do those things. I mean, it's not against the law if you don't go to college. It's not against the law if you don't go to the gym. It's not against the law if you don't post that content. But to make a routine stick is you got to change your mindset to feel like you are going against the law if you don't. You're going to go against the law if you don't go to the gym. You're going to go against the law if you don't study. You're going to go against the law if you don't post that content. You have to change your mindset that if you don't do this, then it is at the level as if you're not going to work, because it matters that much. It should matter that much. You are going against the law if you aren't posting that content. It should matter that much. And you may be saying, oh my gosh, I don't need to take anything that serious. It's like, yes you do, because you are serious. Your life is serious. Your future is serious. No one else is going to care about it but yourself. So it has to be serious. It has to be that serious. You gotta feel like you're gonna go to jail if you don't do it. That is how you're going to make your routine stick, because you need to learn how to make it matter for yourself. You gotta change that mindset that this thing matters as much, and if I don't do it, I'm gonna get fired. I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna lose my house. I'm gonna lose my whatever. You gotta make it that serious. Make a routine stick is you gotta make the effort of choosing yourself every single time. It's a learning process, it's a learning process, but it's also learning how to bet on yourself every single time. So number 3, successful people don't say they do. And if you guys have gotten to this point of the video, I want to say don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and also please like so I know to make more videos just like this. Successful people don't say they do. They don't announce it to the world of what the next step is going to be. They're not constantly sounding like a recorded machine and saying the same things over and over again, but there is no real progress. They're successful people don't talk, believe it or not. Successful people aren't all the talk, they're all the walk. They will work on themselves, test themselves, and then when it comes to a point that they have what they've done is real, then they will come back and they'll tell you about it. They'll let you know all of their findings, all of the wisdom, all of the tips and tricks, and all of the hacks that you can do as well. What they aren't going to do is they're not going to sit there and be really fat and be like, oh yeah, to lose weight you got to go to the gym 3 times a week and you got to eat clean. Like they're not people who are really talkative. They are is that they're a lot more lonelier. They're a lot more introverted. I mean, you know, they could be extroverted too, but they stay at home more often. They work in the office more often. You know, they're workaholics at the end of the day. Successful people are workaholics. They will say no to a lot of things, to a lot of invites to places, and all they do is just focus on what is important. If it doesn't serve them, then they'll say no. That is what successful people do, and that is how they get their shit done. But people who procrastinate, people who don't have a vision like that, people who don't have a backbone like that, they'll say yes to everything. They'll bend over backwards for things that don't matter, and then later on they'll complain about, oh my gosh, I just don't have the time. My family's is always asking about me, and I just can't say no. I'm just so stuck. Like my husband's not helping me and I have to take care of all of this and blah blah blah. Like there's so many things going on, and what successful people do is that they learn that their time is super valuable. And you have to understand, and what you have to learn in order to be consistent is that you have to learn to say no and be lonelier more often. Because when you are lonely, it means that you have the time and space and the peace to work on yourself. Because if you're surrounded by so many people, then it's so easily to get trapped into, it's so easy to get sidetracked. It's so easy to venture off into other things when they're not interested in the same goals as you are, right? Because we can have working out buddies, we can have people come together and do like working sessions together, but if that person or that thing or that object isn't aligned with what you want in life, then all it's going to be is just a distraction. You need to learn how to be more lonelier, and that's the beauty of when no one's watching, is that you are alone. And alone means that you can focus. You are in charge of your own distractions. You are in charge of your own, like you have the peace of mind. When no one is watching, you have the peace of mind to make mistakes. You have the peace of mind to try something out, and then if it doesn't work, then to try something else. Like you have that peace of mind to know that you can be consistent when no one's watching, because everyone else is stuck in their own little bubble, and you need to learn how to be comfortable in your own bubble and make do with what you have. Like for me, I hate and love being alone as much as I am, because A, you know, it gets lonely, but B, it just gives me the opportunity to work on things. Because if I was constantly being surrounded by so many people, I would get so distracted so easily. I would want to not work on my goals, especially if that person's not interested in the same goals that I am, if they're not as motivated as I am. Like all it will do is just sidetrack me. But when I am alone, I can focus. When I'm alone, I can actually get shit done, because you got to learn that if you don't get it done, you know, you're at that level of like, I'm gonna go to jail. You got to have that mindset. And then when you're alone, it's beauty. It's a blessing to have peace of mind, because you can be consistent if you are smart enough to utilize that loneliness as a way to build something beautiful. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Jolly Silva. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Mwah.